turning to be a very common scenario and a very well orchestrated, state sponsored activity. Just to think that the state is using our own resources to do this is not only appalling but then nauseating at the same time. What is curious to us is that even as innocent Kenyans are being abducted, and I use the word innocent sparingly because even those who are not innocent should not be abducted. There is a procedure in which we have agreed as Kenyans we will live in, and those procedures are not being followed. If you remember that these incidences are 90%, if not 100%, being occasioned on young Kenyans. What I mean young Kenyans is persons who are below 50 years. Also resonates to what kind of a future are we looking into as a people. I think I had explained on why and who dumped the body of the unidentified body in the river in Wajir. The purpose was to defeat the legal processing, the habeas corpus applications that the Law Society, together with the family of Honorable Yusuf, had filed. And one of the most important points that I think you have raised today, the rep from Kiambu, is the signaling. If you read the newspaper on Monday and Tuesday, you will have seen that a lot of global intelligence bosses are in Nairobi, and part of the conversation is on data sharing. I do not want to mention the giant mobile phone provider, but if you listen to my T's and my I's, the signaling only happens if you're carrying a mobile phone. If you drop your mobile phone, you are safe. All those who went into parliament were identified for the singular reason that they carried mobile phones with them, and the triangulation is done by pinging the cell tower with all those who are around you. My friend Honorable Imotok, these things cannot happen without the blessings of the state. That is sad. And I like the way you put it crassly that, in fact, even members of the coalition parties that form government are not finding spare. They are also part victims, and this speaks to what Governor Orengo says government eats its own children. It's quite a very, very unfortunate scenario. I will pause as I finalize that what we did as the Law Society of Kenya when the three innocent Kenyans, this is the Longton brothers and Bob Njagi, went missing, is we actually got to a point where we were desperate enough to write that they were dead. But then we kept on getting silent signals, because we do get those signals. That the assumption was we take longer so that we assume they are dead and we don't follow through. The strategy to bring in the acting Inspector General and to cite him for contempt was godsend. In fact, on the day when we were going for the sentencing, they did not believe that the acting Inspector General would in fact be condemned to contempt and the 6 months imprisonment. Curiously, two days later, at 3 in the morning, we were to appear in court at 9 in the morning. At 3 a.m. in the morning, we now started receiving the calls that they have been released in separate locations. What I'm trying to advance on this is that as we are tackling, judicial interventions in what are happening in Kenya, let us devise new methodologies. Another one will be, even as we are pursuing this habeas corpus writ, some of the prayers that we may seek are damages, and these damages should go on the vote head. The vote head on the National Police Service. I know for sure, if you make them uncomfortable with how they spend, these very macabre and bizarre activities of kidnappings and abductions will stop. Honorable members and the SG, allow me to stop at that, because I may not be sure that all of us here are representative electorates, and we may just have members of the National Police Service here today.